All right. So I'm just talking a couple of blocks away from the Bálint lives, and I'm very pleased to have been invited to this discussion. Indeed, I have been working with Bálint for um, uh, a long time uh, in various capacities and have been learning from him a great deal from Hungary. Well, I have been intrigued and interested in the problem of post-communism. I think I used this term the first time in 1987 or something. I thought it was a smart and a new idea to describe Hungary at that time as a post-communist society, which is beyond communism. And it turned out to be a good concept, I think. It still tells us that there is a simplistic notion that what happens in the fall of communism is simply a transition from a communist dictatorship to liberal democracy. This turned out to be too simplistic. There is virtually none of the former communist countries which can be called today simply as a liberal democracy. There are some which are really close to a liberal democratic system, but most of them are on trajectories which are somewhere between a communist dictatorship and a liberal democracy. And unfortunately, for many of us, there is not a simple trajectory towards a liberal democracy from a communist dictatorship. Well, I have been a great admirer of Bálint's work very early on when he introduced the notion of mafia state. I really believed that was fantastic. It was really, to my mind, the first serious attempt to try to describe the system as such. So Bálint offered a systematic description of post-communism. This was something I have been trying to do for a long time, but never really got as far as Bálint did with his very early work. Now, the new book, this 800 pages long anatomy of post-communist regimes, is especially extraordinary because it not only makes a clear triangular distinction between communist dictatorship, liberal democracy, and patrimonial autocracy, but he also, virtually almost on all post-communist countries, he describes the trajectories of these various countries over the last 30 years were moving along these directions. I think it's quite extraordinary in terms of richness of the empirical material and the originality of theoretical discussion. The early work was mainly focused on Hungary. Now this book is really the theory of post-communist formations and varieties of post-communist formations. So I want to congratulate. I think this is an extraordinary achievement, and since I have been in this field for something like 30 years, studying post-communism, I think I am a witness who should be credible that this is an unusually great achievement. So thank you for inviting me, and Bálint, congratulations.